Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life and the crazy life that is cryptocurrency. Guys, I gotta tell you what, I cannot be more excited than I am at this very moment. I just came across something that is going to, listen, it's gonna blow you guys, it's gonna blow your mind. And I would say to any of the people, it's only been like one, maybe two at the most, who, you know, I'm not haters, just probably non-believers in the potential that is XRP. That's what I would say. Now, I don't think they're haters. In fact, I know they're not. I know for a fact one of them is a XRP bag holder. But for the one or two, and you guys know who you are, I love you guys, who just can't wrap their brain around XRP, the standard. I'm going to turn you on to something, and I hope you take the time to educate yourselves. And I tell you what, I came across this YouTuber, and what I was doing is I was watching something from Brad Kimes, backup Brad Kimes, and he had mentioned this guy, and I remember hearing him mention this guy before, you know, three times before. And in fact, I think this guy actually commented on one of my videos. So this guy's name is the Digital Nomad Investor, DNI, right? DNI. And so I heard, again, Backup Kimes mentioned this guy today. I was, this morning, watching his video this morning. I said, let me go check this guy out. He just mentioned his name, and, he complimented him. And I'd heard him mention his name and compliment the Digital Nomad Investor before. And I hadn't taken the time to check him out. So I did that. So I go to this guy's channel, and I'm scrolling through the videos. I click on videos. I'm going through, he's got episodes. And I'm just, I'm trying to see, let me try to find something interesting. And I came across one, and I'm listening to it. He's doing a live stream. And, he's, you could tell he's young in this channel. You could tell he's young still and doing these videos and stuff like that. So the live stream, getting through the live stream, right? Getting through that live stream was challenging, right? I mean, I did get through it, but it was challenging. And what he mentioned in that live stream is what he does is, because he understands this, a lot of times he kind of gets to rambling and talking. And what he'll do, in addition to the live stream video, he'll do a follow-up video that is more matter of fact, right? It's not shout outs, and it's right. He's not going, he's not starting down path A and then rambling and then going down path B. He's on point, sticking with the topic. Okay. He calls them like compliment videos or follow-up videos. And so I went to that. I went to the follow-up or companion video, as he liked to call it. So I went to that. It was only 28 minutes long. So I get to this video, and let me tell you the title of this video. Guys, I'm telling you, like, wow. So listen, this is the title. Now, this is him, right? The title of the video is so this is his perspective, my XRP manifesto for geopolitical influences on XRP. Now, if you guys have watched my videos, listened to my videos, you know that I've said time and time again that XRP, the bottom line is it solves the global economic crisis biggest challenge, and that is liquidity, or liquidity, as my boys from Love Crypto would like to say, right? This is what I've always said. Now, again, I've been educated. I've done my homework and due diligence. I've listened to YouTube, just like you guys, YouTubers, right? And it all made sense, right? It all made sense. Whether I'm listening to Sam I Am, or CKJ Crypto News, or Crypto News and Investigative Reports, or whoever the awesome YouTubers in XRP community who go in and they do the deep dives. I've listened to them. I've done my own homework. I've done, all that stuff. It all made sense to me. But I gotta tell you, when I listened to the digital nomad investor, and I listened to that video, the companion video to episode 39. So this is the companion video to episode 39. Every single word, he said he was training the XRP community on the live stream. He said he wanted to train the XRP community on like their financial crisis awareness, like almost like we do that in our training too in our business, right? So it was like, when you begin to hear these things in the media, these are the triggers, he called it, for the financial crisis. And what it is it's almost like a playbook. It's like a playbook for how the powers that be will roll out this whole financial crisis thing. It's already been in play probably for the last 9 months. And he said he wants us in the XRP community to get the triggers so that we can better understand the playbook. Now, those are my words, so we can better understand the playbook. He used the word triggers, right? And what it is, what it does is it trains you to get your radar up, to get the antennas up, your radar up, so you can understand the steps and how they're rolling out so that you are better prepared, so that it doesn't just hit you. And I gotta tell you, I like this dude for a number of reasons. But the number one reason that I like him is because I've always believed the biggest challenge that we have is we don't know. You guys know I did a video. I said, if you guys are not fans of XRP, it is because you don't know what you don't know, right? And so the biggest challenge in the community is not knowing what they don't know. Another way to put that is the greatest weapon that the powers, the TB have, in my humble opinion, is ignorance and apathy. Followed closely by, as Jim Rogers liked to say, they got the big guns, right? They got the weapons, right? But the number one, their ace in the hole, the ace in the hole for TB is our ignorance and apathy. Bottom line. Without that, their powers are significantly decreased. But anyway, so I like this guy because he's an educator. He's an educator for the XRP community. There's a difference between people who inform us of what's going on in the digital asset space. There's a difference between those who inform us and those who educate us on what's going on in the digital asset space. There's a big difference. And people like Bob Way and this dude are educators. They're educators. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I got so excited about this video. Like, I'm on my way to the gym, right? On my way to the gym, and I'm like, what in the world? I'm on my way to the gym, and I'm trying to, like, I'm battling back and forth. Should I pull over? Should I do a video halfway through this video? Because this is like my third time watching this video. Should I, I'm battling, like, should I just take some notes and just go over it in this video, get back home and do, and I feel like I got to get back home and give this guy in this video and this information justice, not just kind of listening to it, a couple times and just kind of whatever. Like, I really feel like I have to do my homework on the video to bring it to you guys. And that's what I'm going to do. But I want to just hit on some of the things here real quick, because I can't hold it back, guys. Like, I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. So this guy's an educator. It's important. Now, I was going to email him. I'm still going to email him for this manifesto. But I wanted to know what this guy's background was. And it's funny too, because he said that he wasn't going to do his YouTube channel. That some friends, some people that know him and his background really, really prompted him and said, you know, you, with your background, you need to get yourself a channel and share your knowledge, share your wisdom. And he said this on the live stream, and he said that he had a government background. And he said that was pretty interesting, but he said what was more interesting was his subcontractor background. And when he said that, I was like, done. Like, done. Subscribing, listening to what this guy has to say. And here's the reason why. I turned you guys on to the Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I turned you on to that book, and there's a follow-up to that book is The New Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Turned you guys on to that book because some people were not kind of believing some stuff, right? I told you about the global empire. I told you about, I think it's called the global empire. And it was an education on learning what's really going on. It was an education about what's really going on, not what mainstream media is telling us that's going on. And it's so important. So as soon as he said that, and again, government, subcontractor, you put those two together, for me, I was like, yep, he knows some things. He knows some things. And I think it's interesting that he doesn't live in the country. I think it's really, really interesting and quite honestly telling that he doesn't live in the country. He doesn't live in the U.S. It's, right? Government, subcontractor. And the information he's putting out is crazy. So I'm going to read his 9 things to you. I took some notes. Again, I pulled over 3 or 4 times to take notes just to get it to you guys, because I just think, wow, crazy, phenomenal stuff. So this is what he said. Again, this is his. He said, number one thing to start looking for and start listening to, right? To you know, to get a better radar for what's going on in the financial crisis. Number one, you know, global tension. We don't watch TV in our home. We don't watch TV. News. We don't watch the news. And if we put the TV on, it's for a Netflix or it's for Game of Thrones. That's about it. But I know about the global tension between the U.S. and China. I know about that. Most of you probably know about that. He also said something interesting about Iran and how the U.S. back in 2009 literally tried to bait Iran into kind of going at it with us. They didn't take the bait. And if you don't think that's a real thing, again, check that book out. The Confessions of an Economic Hitman. You know, check out The New Confessions of an Economic Hitman. If you don't think that kind of stuff is a real deal, right? You got the whole thing going on with Trump and China and, you know, these tariffs and, you know, to me, quite honestly and quite frankly, it may be true and factual, but it's, for me, the overall of it is a show. For me, personally. That whole Trump and China is a show. He said, listen for words like amid concerns. Amid concerns. He said, listen for oil concerns. Listen, you know, pay attention to the stock market crashes and how the mainstream media puts that out, puts it in front of us. How many times have we been hearing about the financial crises? How long have we been hearing that? He said, so that's number one, global tension. Get your radar antennas up. Get your radar up and listen for those. And pay attention to how often it's being played on CNN and CNBC and MSNBC and the likes. Number two, debt. Listen and pay attention to how often the mainstream media talks about debt crisis. Talk about different kinds of debts and how bad it's getting. How how often have we heard about the student loan debt crisis? It's a real thing, but how often do we keep hearing about it? Why is that so massively important that we hear about it in the media all the time? The student loan debt. Obama forgiving the debts and all, not that it's not an issue, but why is it, why is it constantly being brought up in the media? What about this credit card debt? So number 2 is debt. Paying attention to the media talking about student loan debt, corporate debt, credit card debt. And he says he believes that corporate debt is going to eventually replace, it will become more of the talking point ahead of student loan debt, because, obviously we know people take loans, kids take loans, and obviously, yeah, of course we should help them. But the corporate debt is going to become the big thing, because we want to, I don't want to say hate, but it's easier for us to be upset with corporate debt than it is for us to be upset with student loan debt or credit card debt. So corporate debt, again, is going to take the number 1 spot in terms of the debt topic that will be preached to us. So that's number 2 for him. Number 3, he said, I love this, and check this out, an increased exposure and PR of Christine Lagarde. Is anyone like me been thinking why is the IMF shoving her out the door, putting her on planes, private planes, I'm sure, and getting her out in front of us at all these different events? Why do you think that is? Has anyone been thinking, what in the world? Why is she at this thing? And why is she at that thing? And why is she, she was just in, the Bank of England's thing or something, a month and a half, 2 months ago? Why is she out there like that? That's the first thing I thought. It's why is she constantly out there in front of us? This dude tells you why. He tells you why. Number 3, increased exposure and PR of Christine Lagarde. I'm oh, wow. And before I go on more about that, and that debt thing, there will also be the U.S. debt as well. So it'll be individual debt, like credit card and student loans. It'll be credit card debt, right? And the other one, part of the debt is going to be the U.S. debt, right? So we all know about the U.S. debt. We all know they've been talking and singing this thing for a while now. It's 22 trillion, at least 22 trillion U.S. debt. So that's one of the other debts as well. But number 3, increased exposure and PR of Christine Lagarde. Interesting thing about old Christine Lagarde, did you realize that she was voted the number 3 most powerful woman in the world? Did you know that she got some kind of award from Town and Country magazine, I believe it is? Do you know, did you check the article? It said Christine Lagarde, headline, will she save the world? Or will this woman save the world? Now, why in the world are they talking about Christine Lagarde saving the world? You ever think about that? Ivanka Trump just had her in and gave her an award for something. Trump, Ivanka. Don't you think? I love what Brad Kimes says. It said it's not a coincidence. It's a rollout, right? It's a playbook. Step 1, step 2, you turn left, I'll turn right. You go here, I'll do, right? Why is Ivanka Trump giving Christine Lagarde an award for something? Why is Christine Lagarde popping up every time you turn around? She's popping up somewhere in the digital asset slant banking space. Every time you turn around, why? Why all of a sudden now? last few months has been massive. She's been everywhere, right? Number 4. So that was number 3. Increased exposure slant PR for Christine Lagarde. Number 4, they're going to mainstream media talking about global debt. Global debt. So first was U.S. debt, right? Individual debt, U.S. debt, global debt, which is 250 trillion. 250 trillion. And he said this is some of the things they're going to start saying. Risk of imploding if something isn't done. I just think that's interesting, and I just, you know, and I'm kind of going back and forth on my notes, but in relation to number 3 with Christine Lagarde, it said it's important that increased exposure slant PR is because they, the PPTB, want to make Christine Lagarde recognizable, right? That's why she's all over. Make her recognizable. And the cherry on the top might possibly be likable, right? That's me putting that in there. But they want to make her recognizable. So number 4 is global debt. And he said, listen for words like risk of imploding if something isn't done. And this is what he said, and I love this because I've said this before. He said, mainstream media will be scripted. Mainstream media will be scripted on things like risk of imploding, global debt, financial crisis, if something isn't done. They'll be scripted and in concert with the powers that be. Listen to me again. Scripted and in concert. Wow. Right? Tell me this does not make sense to you. Tell me if this does not make sense to you. Number 5, the central bank debt. Like, I was not aware of this, but central bank debt makes sense. Don't you think it's odd in a way that Ripple has partnerships with the central bank? Did we really think that was about cross-border payments? Right? Didn't it make you think that there's got to be a bigger reason to that? But anyway, central debt, central bank debt. Overall, this is some of the things that they're gonna, again, getting the radar up and listen for words like overall global liquidity problem. Overall global economic crisis. These are the things. These will be the headlines. These will be the things you see on CNN and MSN or MSNBC, CNBC, right? These are the things that you'll see and hear. So number 5, central bank debt. And I will say something too. He said what's going to happen, and this is so important, and it leads up to number 6, that this narrative or these narratives will be on all on the major channels and all the major news channels, and they will beat you to death with these topics and crisis and all over until you say, I give up, right? So they're going to beat you over the head and over and over and over and over again. Crisis, global debt, central bank debt, global debt, corporate debt, US dollars, US debt. They're going to beat us over the head with this so much that we just say, okay, I give up, okay. How do we solve it? Number 6, cue the IMF. Here's what he says. Cue the IMF. My girlfriend's going to kill me because I'm supposed to be in the gym working out and I'm talking to you guys. Because this is so important that I have to get it to you. Cue the IMF, and these are my words now, our savior and protector. And I wrote down refer to number 3, because remember, number 3 was an increased exposure to Christine Lagarde, increased exposure and PR to Christine Lagarde. And that's why that article came out. Will this woman, Christine Lagarde, Will this woman save the world? Makes sense. Number 6, cue the IMF. Here they come in. Dun, 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 dun. Here she comes. And he gives reason why it's the IMF. And for me personally, because the IMF is not the U.S. government. It's the IMF. That's why it's easy to do. That's why they can push her out and roll her out the way they've been rolling her out. Now he says because they don't have any debt, they don't owe anyone anything, and that's probably important as well. But for me, that's what it is. It's she's non-U.S. She's not right. She that makes sense. So here's some of the number 7, I think. Yep, number 7. And again, I'm going to do another video and probably go into more detail about this. Number 7 is the IMF bailout package, and this is the one that's really, really, really interesting. It says the IMF working with Ripple coupled with the SDR. So XRP, the Ripple and the SDR coupled with the SDR through the IMF. It'll be this bailout package that they present as the answer. And it will be working with Ripple and the SDR to create a new financial instrument called the ESDR. Like, listen to me, guys. The ESDR is a real thing. It's coming. Now, there's some question in some people's minds because they, quote unquote, have not said what this E, as in electronic SDR, what digital asset is going to be. But let me ask you something, XRP community. How many times have you heard Christine Lagarde say, not the Bitcoins? No. This digital asset she talks about, but she says, not the Bitcoins. Let me ask you another question, XRP community. How many times have we seen Christine Lagarde hanging out with Brad Garlinghouse or people from the IMF hanging out with Brad? How many times have you seen them together? What other digital asset has she been hanging out with? What other digital asset has she mentioned in a favorable light? Not the Bitcoins. What other digital asset has it been? Number 7, the IMF bailout package. Number 8, global reserve currency. Global reserve currency. That's what the ESDR will be, and it will be XRP as the ESDR. Global reserve currency is number 8. So here's the thing that's very, very important. Not a one world currency where all the countries will have XRP as a currency. No. Each respective currency, each respective country will still keep their own fiat currency. The ESDR will be the standard, these are his words, standard global currency. How many times have we heard from CKJ, Backup Bragg Times, maybe even the digital asset investor, XRP is the standard. XRP, their standard. They're getting it from stuff they're reading. The standard, XRP, the standard. If you've done your homework, you checked out some CKJ videos, some CKJ crypto news videos, you've heard that. He's read it from different publications, from different, and maybe even in the executive order thing. And why isn't any, what other digital asset is mentioned in an executive order besides XRP? Ripple is mentioned 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times maybe. So the global reserve currency. Again, this is a layout. This is a rollout. This is a playbook. Step 1, okay, check. Step 2, okay, check. Step 3, okay, check. Number 9, bailout accomplished. So remember, this SDR, the SDR is going to become an ESDR, right? So the way that's going to work, Ripple and the IMF, whether the IMF is buying this XRP, whether Ripple is gifting the IMF this XRP, it doesn't matter. the IMF will be in control and manage the ESDR. XRP will be the electronic currency. It's just a matter of time before it's known to the masses. And they're going to use this XRP. Check this out. Because number 9 is bailout accomplished. They're going to use this XRP, very important, to take care of the central bank debt. Take care of the central bank debt. And obviously you're going to leave some extra for the powers to be. And this is what he said. In order for that to work, this is what the digital nomad investor said. I've said the same thing on my videos. In order for that to work, XRP will have to be a certain price. It has to be high to take care of the central bank debt. Now, here's the thing. They're probably expecting it with this bull run, or maybe once this kind of thing kind of gets rolled out, this whole ESDR thing gets rolled out, that it's going to jump in price. And this is what he said, and I find this very, very interesting. He said three things. He said, number 1, if it doesn't get to that price, the whole Shane Ellis thing could happen. Shoot, I don't know what I was thinking here. The whole Shane Ellis thing could happen. The Shane Ellis theory with the buy walls and sell walls. Or he said something that I thought was interesting. He said, well, remember when that lawyer was on stage with Brad Garlinghouse, and the lawyer said the only way that XRP could be whatever is if a country decided to use XRP as their currency, if a country decided to do so. Well, this dude said that's true, but it's not the only way. He says that there is something. What is she doing? He said that there is something. Can I get in there? Yeah. That is in the agreement, written in the agreement with the IMF, that they can, by a vote, 3/5 vote, 3 to 5 vote, that they can, like, what in the world is this lady doing? They can vote and have that amended. Amend that only a country, if only a country adopts it, can we keep it? That whole thing, making it a currency. So they can amend that, so that the country doesn't have to take it as a currency, XRP as currency. They could amend it and change it to apply to fit their needs. If the XRP price, quote unquote, is not where it needs to be. So you got 3 things. The third thing is Bob Way. So if the price is not where it needs to be to solve the central bank debt, because the central bank debt is the biggest overwhelming debt, it's part of the global liquidity challenge, it's part of the global economic crises. If the price is not enough, if it's not high enough, they got the Shane Ellis theory that can bump it up and make it where it needs to be. They got this, if a country adopts a type of thing that they can do, and they got the Bob Way thing where he said the Ripple has a patent that allows them to adjust the price. There's some kind of patent. I heard about the patent. I haven't read the patent, where they can change the price, adjust the price. And it might be based upon valuation. It might be based upon valuation of utility and use case. It might be that. But there's a patent. There's a patent that allows them to do this and change this price and set the price to where they need it to be. Why do you think that is, guys? Like, why do you think that is? Crazy. So again, like I've said on my videos, there is going to be, it has to be at a certain, XRP has to be at a certain price in order for it to take care of the global liquidity problem. XRP has to be at a certain price to satisfy, to repair the global economic crisis. And don't listen to me. Check this dude out. Check out the digital nomad investor. Listen to that video. If you can get to episode 39, check it out. It's a live stream. If not, check out the video, the companion. It's called XRP, My XRP Manifesto. Check that video out for geopolitical influences on XRP. Check that thing out. Phenomenal. Game changer. If you don't know, then you listen. Again, if you are not a fan, if you don't get it, that this is your shot. This is your shot. Think about it. He even mentioned in this video, XRP was designed for $10,000. He said he had heard about it. He's read about it. He's watched some videos on it. The digital nomad investor said that. Of course, it was designed to be a $10,000 thing. Of course. Once they found this stuff out, of course, it's going to happen. This price thing is going to happen. I don't know if it will be 10,000. I just know that it's designed to be 10,000. In other words, that if it's 10,000, it can still work. It can still do its thing. There'll be still enough of it in whatever. We don't know what the price of XRP is going to need to be to take care of the central bank debt, to take care of and repair and, put a dent in the global liquidity prices, to help repair and solve the global economic crisis. We don't know, but I do know one thing. It's not going to be 46 cents. It's not going to be $47 either. That I do know. And whatever it is that it needs to be, it's going to get there. It's going to get there. And for me personally, I believe it's a few $100. Me personally. Because remember that it's going to be gifted and bought by the IMF to the IMF. And some extra for the powers to be. What do you think they're going to want that price to be? Do you think they want it to be $4.70? Do you think they want it to be $47? Probably $470. And then they can probably be happy, right? The powers that be. Probably. Knowing that in 3, 4, 5 years, okay, instead of 470, now it's 770. Oh, okay, in a year or so from that, maybe 5 to 6 years, it's 870. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to happen. And you, my friend, have an opportunity to get it for 40-something cents. Like, you understand what I'm saying? And it's not about 100,000 Bitcoin. It's about, we missed that. We missed the Bitcoin thing. And this is our shot here with XRP. I just saw a notification from the digital asset investor. It said something about XRP will create mega wealth. I haven't watched the video yet. But this is just what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Listen, old money doesn't want you and I to win. The powers that be don't want you and I to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Guys, please take a minute, sit back, and think about it. This is our chance to win. I could give a crap about this kind of coin and that kind of coin. This is your chance to win. This is our chance to win. The digital asset space is a reality. And the fact of the matter, XRP is arguably the best digital asset created. And the powers that be know it. So just don't listen to what people are saying. Don't listen to what the wealthy, the ultra wealthy are saying. Watch what they do. Nations are buying gold. There's a reason for that. The IMF is hanging out and talking about Ripple and XRP. There's a reason for that. There's over 2,000 digital assets out there. Why aren't they talking about Dogecoin? Why aren't they talking about VeChain, legitimate blockchain? Why aren't they talking about that? Why is Christine Lagarde saying not the Bitcoins? I mean, you just got to sit back and think about that. 40 cents. I don't know about you, but I miss Bitcoin. I'm not missing this one. I am not missing this one. I'm not missing this one. So anyway, guys, old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. The battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.